As a business owner, I'm constantly having to think about what do I need to do today, but I can't be so boggled down with what I need to do today that I'm kind of losing sight and losing vision of what I need to do moving forward. So, you have to have it's that idea of like, as you're walking, you're looking down to make sure you're not tripping, you're going to the next, but then you also have to pick up your head and look ahead and say, okay, where's my path? Where am I going? So that's what we're going to talk about today, because by the time you see this, I always plan my 2026 in the third quarter of my year prior. So it's 2025, we're in the fourth quarter, and I want to think, how am I going to close out great for the year? But I also need to think about how I'm going to move forward and what's going to change and what's going to be different in 2026. So my name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist, and over 10 years ago I started my therapy clinic, Hands-On Therapy Services. And then over 5 years ago, I started Hand Therapy Secrets to help therapists become certified hand therapists and, have more choices. And if you want to do your business, do your business. I think that there's a lot of therapists who, probably want to, and then they lack the kind of like the know-how, of like, what exactly do I need to do and is it worth it? And it is worth it. It's just, you have to do the work. Like, it's a lot, there's a lot of shit to do. So what can I tell you? So it's the fourth quarter of 2025. And one of the things I like to do is I like to do a review and say, okay, what's been going really well? What am I doing that's doing really well that I want to carry into the next year? And then what am I doing that is not working and I need to just tweak it? So sometimes you do drastic changes and then sometimes you just tweak it. So 2 years into my business, I had to make drastic changes because all I knew was to think about insurance, because everyone around me was telling me, oh, just they automatically think you take insurance, because as a therapist, that's like apparently our world. But a whole new world's opening up. There's a lot of grievances with insurance companies. It's not even that they're not willing to pay you to be able to keep your business doors open. You can't even get into network in certain places. It's not that they want to let everyone in. They don't want to pay for certain things. And since therapy isn't going to keep you alive, like as in not die, they're not necessarily that interested in having you live. And so as therapists, we're all about improving our patients' lives. We want them to be independent. We want them to live pain-free. We want them to recover from, their injuries, their illnesses, their conditions, whatever it is. Like, we are what's called ancillary. And so because of that, insurance companies don't want to pay for that shit. They barely want to pay for the surgeries that you need anyway. And yes, you can sit there as a therapist and harp on what they should do this and they should do that. You'll be unhappy, like guaranteed, right? Because in the should world, it's like there's a sense that you can't do anything about it. But if you live in the, that's that. What can I do? What can I affect? Where are my changes? I'm a big believer in, if I'm going to run my business, I want to be happy. I want to be satisfied. I want to, I don't want to live like miserable, So if you value not living miserable, you want to be happy in your business, then stay tuned and follow along. My links below if you want to join my Wednesday business newsletter that I, send out and, share tips. And of course, I'll tell you if I'm doing anything new, which I am going to be doing something new as I plan out 2026. But let's go into, planning what that looks like. So I'm just going to share with you what I'm doing. I'm not doing any major upheavals and changes in my business currently, but I am tweaking it to make it better. I'm hiring new people in my business, and I'm looking to hire better. I'm, paying more. I'm looking for very specific skill sets, and I'm looking for someone who's going to come help me grow my business more than I can by myself, right? But the things that have been working in my clinic have been organic marketing. Now, there's been, for a while, you probably see it all over the place, a lot of ads running for like agencies and stuff like that, wanting to do all this, ad marketing for you. And the thing is like, if you're already in business for a really long time, you might have that money, right? But if you're just starting out and you're relatively new, like I was just starting out, I was relatively new, I wanted to do something, I just didn't have necessarily the funds to go like all in on this agency that they were just going to run ads for me for like $2,000-$3,000 like a month, and you're like, barely paying myself, right? So you could be in this in between spot, like you're not quite big enough, but you're not quite small enough. And so, if you watch some of my other videos, I talk about organic marketing. And I think that organic marketing is really important. And now everyone's kind of coming back to it. And the thing is that it's never gone away. It's just some people put more emphasis on paid stuff because that's the thing that was popping at that time. That was like the trend. But organic marketing for sure it's tried and true. And the key thing here is when you do organic marketing, you can find the videos and the topics and the content that then gear your money into the right places. So I did a recent TikTok video where I'm talking about like tendonitis, right? And it took off. There's that one video, and then I did another one for like trigger thumb or something, and then that went off. And the thing is like, those are the topics now that I really should be talking more about because there's a need in the market. People are asking questions about it. It's common enough. People just don't understand why they have what they have and what they can do to fix it, right? So from an organic standpoint, because I'm doing those videos, I can put more out, and then I can see which ones resonate, which ones work, and then I can put more money behind it. And then because I'm putting more money behind it, more people are coming and calling my office and saying like, yeah, I want to work with you. I want to work with your team because I don't want to have insurance, right? So the thing that has worked for us is marketing, organic marketing, creating content, teaching people, sharing more of what you know, and really at the end of the day, not holding back, right? Not holding back. I'll share it, but I'm going to share it on my time, right? I'm going to share it when I want to share it and when I create it, not when you want me. If you want to do it when you want to do it, then you're going to pay me to do it when you want to do it. But if I'm putting out free content, then you're going to wait for my free content, right? So like in my mind's eye, that's the organic stuff that I'm posting and increasing my in the thing that I want to do in 2024 is to amplify essentially what has been really working in 2025 for me. So organic marketing is where we're going to really continue to target, fine-tune some of our messaging, our videos, and then the major topics that we want to cover to not only go into depth on the topics that have resonated with people, but maybe introduce a few more. So for example, I'm introducing spine, doing a lot of neck, a lot of spine types of injuries, and I'm going to incorporate a lot more of that into my organic. So I'm taking the thing that works, I'm amplifying it, right? The other thing that I'm doing that this year that I do want to do are workshops. I'm doing workshops, I'm teaching in my clinic to everyday people around me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get real organized with that. So if you're planning 2026 or you want to plan out to 2026, then hit the link, one of those things, and ask me what I'm doing, and I'll share what I'm doing. But I'm definitely planning that out. And then of course I've got my clinic calendar to plan out, and then I've got my hand therapy secrets calendar to plan out because I've got other things I want to work on. But the things that have worked, like I want to amplify that even further. So from an organic standpoint, that's been working. You know what's been working? TikTok has been working for me. Now, I've been mostly on YouTube. YouTube has worked for me. For my clinic, YouTube has worked for me. So yeah, I'll share more of that, from the thing that I'm going to, the program that I'm going to do. But not that I'm going to do that. I'm already doing, but I always start at the end of the year. Anyway, neither here nor there. YouTube has worked for me and worked for me really well, and I can share more about how that's worked. Instagram has always worked. So sometimes Instagram is where they go to look to ensure like, hey, are you really who you say you are? So Instagram's always kind of worked. And then, but TikTok has been really great. It's been telling me, you know what? The great thing with TikTok is that it's so casual that you can put things out kind of fast. And it's not like, I'm not highly produced, but it takes a little bit more work to put onto a YouTube video versus like on TikTok, you can go a lot more organic. Like it's even more organic than organic. And that has been really, really good. And what it's told me is kind of where my mistakes are, because people are very like verbal on TikTok. They're very verbal. Like they want to talk on TikTok. And so I've been able to catch my problems faster. So I don't know if you're playing around on TikTok, And let me know if this is happening for you. But I don't know, like it has been working for me. And so in 2026, like definitely I'm going to be planning on, my resources, like what I'm going to do to amplify that as well. So yeah, like a lot of what we do from a business standpoint is marketing. It is showing up. It is showing up and showing out. It's showing up and sharing what you know and not being. And I was just talking with a business owner. It's called accountability calls. We just like hold each other accountable, getting the job done. And he was of that mindset, like, oh, well, you be careful not to overshare, because then I'm like, no, but that's the thinking that will keep you stuck. It's like, oh, I don't want to overshare because then they won't come in. But the opposite is true. You actually want to share and not hold back. And because you're not holding back, you're building that trust. The people who are not going to buy from you will not buy. Period. But the people who value what you have to say and what you're teaching and how you're going about it, they will buy over and over and over. And so that's the group of people that you want to talk to, and that's who you're wanting to talk to anyway. So marketing is like a really huge thing. And then of course you have marketing, and then you have sales, because you need revenue to keep your business doors open, to pay your staff, to be able to grow, to run the ads, like all of that takes money. It takes fuel. So revenue is really important. So if you're not getting eyeballs, right? So marketing attracts them to you, and then sales is just closing the deal. Like who's right and who's wrong for you, right? Who's right and who's wrong for me? If you're watching this from a business standpoint, like the wrong people are the ones that are, they're kind of like, I don't know. Do I start a business? Do I not start a business? Like you're never going to want to enroll into the OT Business Corner program. Like you're not, because you don't even know, you don't know what you want, right? But someone who would enroll, who would want to take what they're currently doing and plan for 2026 are the people who have made some money. They're like, proof is in the pudding, right? Proof is in the pudding. I've made some money. I've gotten some patients, and now I want to amplify. I want to work with you, Huang. I want to plan out my 2026 calendar. I want to work with someone who was willing to work with me one-on-one, go through everything. And because sometimes some of those bigger people, like, you're just not getting any kind of support, any accountability. But the person who, is in that like 1, 2 year, 3 year range, trying to like move up and do a little bit more, then they're the ones who are going to want to invest into more business skills, into that accountability, into, just getting that help to move them up into the next level. So when I'm thinking about patients, who want to come in, who need my help, I am thinking about who that person is and what do they want, what are they looking for? Because some people are not looking for help. They're just looking for shit to do. But the people who are serious and they're like, I really want the help, they're just watching the videos to see who speaks to them, who do they resonate with, how do they teach, and does it sound like they can trust you? There's a lot of information out there, and everyone's trying to weed through like the crap and what's not. So like you're watching this video, if you get to the end of it, you're trying to weed out whether I'm crap or not. So it's the same shit you're doing to me, they're doing to you. So if you plan out, you look at what you've done in 2025 and you start planning out what you need to do in 2026, then you're going to make your business grow. So I'm already starting that process, but I usually do it in December, and I'm going to build out 2026. And so if you want to build that out too, my link's below, and just ask, how can we work together? All right. In the meantime, if that helps you, anything I've said, leave me a comment below and let me know. Did it help you? What else do you want to hear about? All right. Thanks.